Welcome to Destination Eat Drink, the travel channel for foodies. I'm Brent Peterson. I'm an American living in Portugal. Today, we're in Fernando Po, Portugal, and we're at Hummus Farm. We've been here for a couple hours visiting with Bruno and Anna, who own and run this place. And I gotta say, it's one of my favorite places that we've been in Portugal so far. This has been an incredible afternoon and an incredible way to start our tour in Fernando Po. So let me tell you a little bit about Hummus Farm, because this is an organic farm here in Fernando Po, but they also have event space, and they've got space where you can stay overnight, and they have the organic farm. And Bruno invited us over for lunch today. Every day, they have all of the employees of the farm gather together and have a lunch made from ingredients that they've harvested from the farm. So today we had this amazing fennel and citrus salad with toasted sunflower seeds. I think probably one of the best fennel salads I've ever had in my life. And this delicious curry with basmati rice. Had a couple of bottles of white wine to go with it, local white wine, of course. And then we contributed a bottle of red wine to go with the dessert. Anna made this amazing cake with mulberry sauce that went with the cake, and the red wine was just perfect with it. Aged Castelao grapes in the wine. It was absolutely perfect. And then to finish off, we have another bottle of wine. This is from Anna's grandparents' estate up in the Douro Valley. You can see. This red wine, I gotta tell you, is one of the best that I've had in Portugal. And Bruno, I had my first sip and I said to myself, I'm having trouble identifying some of the flavors. And Bruno said, out of the blue, it tastes of white truffles. And I gotta say, as someone who loves truffles, he hit it right on the nose. There's an earthiness to this wine that is really, really magnificent. So, I can feel it on my tongue, just like when you have that bite of truffles with buttered fettuccine sauce. Absolutely magnificent. I gotta say, this place is special not only for the food, not only for the atmosphere, but just for the place that Bruno and Anna have made here in 6 years. They've only been here for 6 years, and they've made a really gorgeous place. And Karen and I were just saying, we're going to be coming back here quite often because this is a special place. They've created an atmosphere with their workers, with the people who come, the visitors, with their customers, that is really quite extraordinary. And I want to feel like this some more. So we'll be coming back here some more. Bruno was kind enough also to make an appointment for us to visit a winery while we're here, because coming here to Fernando Po, it's very, very casual when you come here. And so some of these places you can walk into, we'll see how we do. Some of these places, didn't even respond to me when I sent them emails asking for a reservation. So we'll see how the day plays out. But I got to say, this has been an extraordinary start to the day, and I'm really happy with the way things have gone here so far in Fernando Po. Even though we're out here in rural Portugal, feels like we're home. This is Casal Freitas, and we were just talking with the owner here, Amalia, and she's having us sample a little of the Reserva wine. This is, I think, was this 2021? I think this was 2021. Really nice. This is made with Castelao, which is a grape from this area. You see This grape is used all throughout this region. Very popular. And Castelao generally is a blend grape. So majority Castelao, but it also has some other grapes, including Syrah. And this is really, really nice. So good. So a bottle of the Reserve was €5. You can't beat that. So we got some. We're going to go to our friend's house tomorrow night. I think we'll bring this bottle with us. But this is just a gorgeous space out here. Amalia said it's very small by the standards of some of the other places around here. But her family, her grandparents, they originally had all of this land out here. And so when you come out here, the name Frietish is on several of these vineyards. All right, this is just one of them. There's larger ones, there's smaller ones with that name Frietish. And what happened was, you know, the grandparents had it, and then it got divided up, and now the grandkids have it. And Amalia, she works. She has some employees here, but it's her gig, man. Her husband, he died. The kids, they work in Lisbon. They're engineers and doctors and stuff. So she does it all, man. And I'm impressed. I mean, you know, it says it's a small place, but there are 50,000 liter tanks over there where she's aging the wine and whatnot. The tasting room is this little tiny concrete room, but it's adorable. And we walked in, and you know, she offered to pour us some wine, and it's just, this is the most rustic, authentic experience that you can have. There's no one here to greet you. There's no formal wine tasting. It's just hanging out, talking with her. She showed us around, showed us all the rooms. It's really special, and dogs will bark at you when you come up the road, but they mellow out very quickly. So great spot. I'm really glad that we made this part of our day and enjoy this wine. Our next stop is Marcolino Frietish, and I told you that Frietish family is everywhere here, and they're just up the street from our last stop. So yeah, they're everywhere. We came up the gravel road, and 2 vineyard dogs greeted us with some loud barking, but then they immediately mellowed out. Unfortunately, this place doesn't offer tastings. So I just bought a bottle of wine, and what I got was their 2021 Reserva, 14.5% alcohol, so it's pretty strong. And it's 100% Castelao grape. So generally, I prefer the Castelao to be used in blends. It tends to be a little tannic for me. However, Castelao, once it ages, tends to mellow out and smooth out a little bit. So we'll see how this is. This is a 2021. It's been aged a little while. We'll try it when we get home. But this is a nice vineyard. The only thing I would say is, if you come out here, if you're driving, obviously don't drink and drive. But if you're walking, like we're walking today, just be aware, you are in a rural area and there are no sidewalks here, and people drive fast. So all I would say is just make sure that you keep your wits about you when you're walking. You know, hate to see you get hurt when you come out here for a day of enjoyable wine drinking. So don't do that. Be safe when you come out to Palmela and Fernando Po. So this is our last stop, Casa Ermelinda Frietish. And this is the largest producer in this region of Fernando Po. And I told you, everyone's name here is Frietish. This is where it all started, though. This is where the family began, and if you take the tour, which we did, you can see the house where they lived. You can see the original bottling area where they made the wine, and you can see the modern bottling area too. It's quite a facility. I mean, this place is really big. Like I said, it's the biggest producer here in Fernando Po. And the interesting thing, well, there's several interesting things, but one of them is this winery is over 100 years old, and it's pretty much been run by women the entire time. For some reason, the husbands died young. So the women had to take over and take care of the wineries. And they expanded this winery. They made it into a famous winery. They even export quite a bit, which is pretty rare for Portuguese table wines. Of course, port wines get exported all the time, but for table wines, it's pretty rare to see them exported outside of Portugal. This winery does. The other thing that's really interesting about this winery is, like I said, it's been around for over 100 years. They only started putting their wines in bottles less than 30 years ago, like 1997. Before that, what did they do? They sold it in bulk. So there were two ways that they sold it. People would come to the winery, they'd bring their giant jugs, and the Friedrich family would fill up those jugs, and the Portuguese would take them home and drink it. Or they sold bulk grapes to other wineries, especially in the north, like in the Douro Valley, who would use the grapes to blend with their wines. So the Castelao grape, which I've talked about in this video, was used for blending a lot of wines up in the Douro Valley. So a couple of really interesting things. The wine tour, definitely worth it. Really fascinating what was going on here. And this is a great winery, award-winning, really, really good wines. We're gonna buy a few bottles to take home with us and enjoy this weekend with some friends. So if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. If you want to support Destination Eat Drink, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/Destination Eat Drink. It's always great to have you along for my little trips throughout Portugal and all over the world. I'm Brent Peterson. Thank you so much for watching. See you down the road.